Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news, and we've got some breaking news literally just as I went live there in relation to a Manchester United transfer target, or a transfer target that was a target until we sacked Rangnick, which I still firmly believe was a massive mistake on United's part. I think we'd be a lot more advanced in our transfer activity and we'd be getting a lot more for our money if we'd kept him at the club. But we also have got some updates on Frenkie de Jong that have just come in as well. But I want to talk about Ruben Neves mainly. That's what it says. Neves waiting on United. Really interesting story on him. But I'll give you the breaking story. It's coming from RB Leipzig, and Nkunku has just signed a new deal at Leipzig. We knew this was going to happen. Big shout out to Pletty on Twitter. He said this about a month ago. Confirmed to us that 99% chance that Nkunku would stay at Leipzig, and he has signed that contract. I always said that Nkunku was a target for Manchester United, but it was a target that was very intrinsically linked to Ralf Rangnick, and the minute we sacked Rangnick was the end of that deal, because you don't have an in at Leipzig, you can't negotiate, you can't work with Leipzig on a deal like that if you remove somebody who basically helped build Leipzig, which was Ralf Rangnick. And I'd say the same for Conrad Lehmer. We saw Enzo Fernandez is going to go to Benfica as well. So Manchester United at the moment looking in a situation that is just not the best at the moment in relation to transfers. But there is a bit of positivity. But I want to just talk about Frenkie de Jong, and then I want to talk about Ruben Neves. I was going to talk about Ruben Neves first, but actually this is relevant to this, because we know. And look, I've pinned at the top of the chat, the live chat. Do check the video out I put out this morning. It's a very different type of video. It's very interactive, very short, and it's about Frenkie de Jong and why he's not a CDM. So check out that video, because I'm fed up with people telling me he is. And I think if you watch that video, it's got quotes from Erik ten Hag. It explains what Frenkie de Jong is and what he would bring to Manchester United. If we did get Frenkie de Jong, because this has just come in, there's a couple of Spanish reports, Manchester United have not tabled an offer for Frenkie de Jong because they have not yet persuaded him. The Dutch midfielder has serious doubts over making a switch to Old Trafford this summer. Now, whether this is true or not, and I firmly believe that we will sign Frenkie de Jong, and I think most people do, this is an interesting thing, because if we as Manchester United fans are sat here saying Frenkie de Jong is not enough, that team is crap, Frenkie de Jong wants to stay at Barcelona, who are in the Champions League, and Manchester United want him, and we are to believe that he is just going to leave Barcelona because they need money to come to Manchester United. He's a very intelligent footballer, which means he's probably intelligent off the pitch when it comes to looking at football teams. Do you not think for 1 minute that Frenkie de Jong might have looked at this transfer and gone, even if I go to Manchester United, they're shit? Like, you know, we are crap. We are a crap team. There's nobody can argue that. You know, I can't get a phone call from Harry Maguire or Bruno saying, come on, you're being a bit harsh on us this morning. Look at the league table, look at the points, look at the performances. We are factually crap. Has anyone ever thought that Frenkie de Jong might not want to come to United because actually we're just spending all the money on him, and he knows that him alone is not going to change United? Maybe, and it goes back to what we were talking about before, maybe Manchester United, whilst working on the Frenkie de Jong deal, could have signed a couple of other players so Frenkie de Jong can see what the project is. Has anybody sat and thought about this moment of genius for a minute, that actually, if we wanted to sign and persuade Frenkie de Jong, maybe we built a project while we're trying to persuade him? But no, United, the geniuses they are, because they want to save money and they're incompetent, they go, no, let's get Frenkie de Jong first, and then we'll see if we've got any money left to buy players. Wrong. Maybe buy players before you get Frenkie de Jong, so that when you're persuading Frenkie de Jong, you can go, look, we've got Anthony, we've got Timber, we're looking at another midfielder, you come in, we've got, you know, we're building something. No, not United. We couldn't build a bonfire. We are absolutely rubbish when it comes to doing deals, and you know what? I don't know whether that's true. But it did get me thinking, maybe Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to come to Manchester United because he's got a brain. Maybe Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to come to Manchester United at 25 because he's thinking, well, look what happened to Pogba. They spent a load of money on a midfielder and he wasted 6 years of his career. Partly down to himself, but partly down to Manchester United's inability to be very good in a transfer market. Rob, welcome to the Members Club. And also, Mark, I'm worried about United not getting Timber and Anthony because of the increase in price from Ajax, says Jack. And hi, Mark, do you still expect positive news today, says Sayed? I'll come to that in a moment. Michael O'Regan, welcome to the Members Club. So look, on Frenkie de Jong, maybe that is a bit of concern, but then another Spanish outlet saying, journalist actually saying, Barcelona have decided to sell Frenkie de Jong and the club believes there's no going back and he will leave this summer. Barcelona want to sell, we want to buy, but maybe one of the issues is that he does not want to come to Manchester United and we're struggling to persuade him to come to United, which no one really seems to want to address. So we'll see on that one. Anyway, let me talk about something I want to talk about, which is Ruben Neves. Now, this follows on quite nicely from the Frenkie de Jong story. There was an expectation that clubs interested in Ruben Neves would have made their move by now, but as it stands, there has been a slew of rumours, but no formal move for Ruben Neves at Wolves. Now, this to me is very interesting because it actually offers up two options here. One, that we buy Neves and de Jong, which I think most people would be happy with. Two, if we don't get de Jong, and we are wasting time on de Jong, there is a player there that a lot of United fans feel would be suitable for Manchester United, in the sense that Frenkie de Jong is world class, and do check that video out that's at the top of the live chat because I think it will expose and take us away from the transfer deal and what the player actually is and why Ten Hag's obsessed with him. But we also didn't really expect to go and buy a world class midfielder this summer, so the fact that Ruben Neves is sat there at Wolves, I saw him at Molineux on his last day and he was crying and, you know, he looked like he was saying goodbye, but there doesn't seem to be any movement for him. Now, interestingly, Barcelona were linked to him, but it's gone very quiet around Ruben Neves to Barcelona. Arsenal have been interested. Look, I'm not saying we should go and get him, but the reason I wanted to bring this in is twofold, really. One, in the sense that, you know, we're so obsessed on Frenkie de Jong that it's almost like nothing else exists apart from Frenkie de Jong. And two, that there are other options out there that we could go and do. And I'm also tired of the Frenkie de Jong story, which I think everybody is. Everybody is. So look, there is a player there who can play in that position, who is a midfielder, who is also around 25, who Manchester United could be making moves for, but they're not, because Ten Hag's obsessed with de Jong for the reasons I did on the video this morning, and United are just 100% focused on a deal where we are trying to persuade a player that doesn't want to come. And Barcelona are trying to get as much money out of us. It's just not a good deal, is it? In relation to how long it's been taking to do. But Ruben Neves remains there. What I would say is, I think Wolves would see United coming if we did try and do a deal there. Let's not pretend that United could just turn their attention away from Frenkie de Jong and go and get Ruben Neves. They'd see us coming and they'd probably want 60, 70 million. Mark, Neves is ours. Don't try and nick him, says Zane. Jesus will score more goals than Haaland this season. Zane's in the house, Arsenal. Thank you very much for your super chat there, Zane. Well, nobody's making any moves for Ruben Neves at the moment. Neves is injury prone, says Neil. Oh, mate, I'm not having these sort of conversations. Like, you can find a reason not to buy everybody. Like, you can find a reason not to buy anybody. If I offered you a Pendidi, you'd sign him, and he's got a worse injury record than Neves by a long way. So let's not pretend that we're in a position to start saying no to players who are better than what we've got because they might have been injured a couple of times. I mean, come on. I think that's a poor reason, really. But look, what I'm saying, the point is not to say that we're going to get him. I bet we bloody don't buy Ruben Neves. But what I'm saying is there are players out there that nobody's actually trying to sign, and we're doing other things. So look, I don't know. Morning, Mark. Want to thank you for everything you and the team do. The videos are a great distraction and escape from work. Everyone should become a member, says TG. Thank you very much for being a member for 6 months, mate. You're a legend. Thank you very much. Right, on to a little bit of positive news, or is it spin? You can make your decision. You can make your mind up on this. But this is coming in from James Robson. Again, I shouted him out yesterday. He seemed to be getting good information, especially around Dumfries and Anthony. And, you know, that's the information I've had for quite a while now, that Dumfries will be the right back if we can get one. And Anthony is absolutely desperate to join United, and there's strong belief that United can do that deal. I think we're going to have to cross a barrier. And let me just say this as well. I didn't really want to talk about the Ajax stuff because we spoke about that last night, so check out last night's video. But just to confirm what Mike Verwey, the Dutch journalist close to Ajax, was saying last night, Ajax have basically said you're too late to United. If you want to buy players, you're going to have to pay silly prices. But then this morning, they're going to sell Alvarez to Leipzig for 30 million euros. So Ajax can see us coming. You know, on one hand, they're saying the shop is shut. We're not selling any more players. And if you want anybody, you can pay top dollar. And then on the other hand, oh yeah, all right, then we'll let Leipzig have Alvarez for 30 million euro. I mean, that's a good deal for Leipzig. 30 million euro. What's that? It was less than 30 million quid, isn't it? So, you know, but you can guarantee when United come knocking, no, we're shut. No one's for sale. And if you want anyone, you can pay double. Like, we've messed up there. But I do believe we'll get Anthony. But I think I can see us negotiating with Anthony into August. It would not surprise me. But look, let's read this one. Much of the groundwork has been laid for their business and incomings are now expected imminently. Arnold and Murta pair are in agreement over this summer's targets. Well, look, I'll read that for what it is. It is a news show. Let's read it for what it is. That reads that Manchester United are going to buy players imminently. Welcome to the Members Club, Callum and Rimbic. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining, lads. And also, morning, Mark. Neves will settle at United with the Portuguese trio as well, says Mikael Roach. Why must United buy a big name, Ronaldo, Varane, De Jong, who will replace Pogba? It's a joke, says Barry. Barry obviously not happy with this constant buying of big signings. And White Owl says Ten Hag told Ralph his services weren't needed just so he could chase De Jong or Window. That decision is looking very naive, says White Owl. Well, I think Ten Hag should have utilised Ralph Rangnick for a year. I really do. You're coming into a league that you don't know anything about. You're going to be reliant on people like Murta and Fletcher who are unproven. I think Rangnick should have been used simply because Rangnick coached that team for 6 months. He knows how to build teams. And I think he would have worked with Ten Hag, but obviously they couldn't do it. United going to Ajax for players now is like your kid bringing you a recipe with a list of ingredients the day before cooking class, says Joshua Bowater. Well, look, let's talk about this. So much of the groundwork has been done for the business and deals are expected imminently. Look, imminently to me means this is going to happen very, very quickly. Let's wait and see. It's dividend day tomorrow. Thursday today, Friday tomorrow, dividends. I was listening to Phil Brown on Twitter actually this morning. He did a little update on what he knows, and he was talking about this mission statement that he'd got hold of from Manchester United, and they were basically saying that dividends are fine because the dividends they take compared to the revenue is actually around 1%, and normal businesses take about 3% out of the business. But no, we're not a normal business. We're a football club. No other owner in the Premier League takes money out at all. So stop comparing yourself to bloody Boots the chemist or bloody iron ore or gold or whatever business you're comparing yourself to. This is football. And then they were saying the debt is serviceable, all this bollocks. My biggest issue with Manchester United and my biggest issue with this groundwork and my biggest issue with imminent transfers is there's never a deadline on anything. They never put a deadline on anything. Building the stadium, the fan share scheme, restructuring the club. They don't put any deadlines on anything. They're actually quite happy to say things like, and Phil Brown mentioned this, that we're in week 2 of a 12-week transfer window. That is the most irrelevant comment I've ever heard because it's totally moving yourself away from any accountability. Like, you cannot just put a statement out as Manchester United that, well, we're only in week 2 of the transfer window, so everyone should shut up. Hold on a minute. 75,000 people turn up to your ground each week. They've got a voice. Millions of fans worldwide have got a voice. You can't just go, it's week 2. Other clubs are buying players, and clubs you want to buy from, either the player doesn't want to come to your club, or the club wants to rip you off because you're not organised and you're not planned. And the Glazers are ready for your 11 million theft video, says Man Mitch. Look, I was told something last night that Ten Hag is concerned about what's going on at United. He's not throwing in the towel or anything like that, far from it, but he's concerned twofold. He's concerned that they haven't got players in yet, and he's also concerned at the work United are having to do to convince people to come to the club. And what I mean by that is, De Jong, obviously he wants to try and convince him because it's very important to him, and he knew he'd have to work on that. Eriksen needs convincing to come to Manchester United. Christian Eriksen, who's been at Brentford, who were in a relegation battle when he went in, needs convincing to come to Manchester United. Timber played under Erik Ten Hag for the last couple of years, gave him his debut, made him what he is. Needs convincing to come and join Ten Hag at Manchester United. This is the thing that's concerning Ten Hag. 1, how long things are taking to do, but 2, how players are being convinced not to come to United, and we're not the powerful pull I think he thought we were going to be. Or maybe we're not the powerful pull he was told in the interviews, because I think Erik Ten Hag said, I want these players and I know they'll come, and United have gone, yeah, we'll get them, and ultimately that's not happening. Hi Mark, how are you? Can you wish my dad a very happy Father's Day and happy belated birthday from one of your biggest fans? He's following you from day one, says Michael O'Regan. Well, I don't know if we've got a name in there, but happy Father's Day and belated birthday to Michael O'Regan's dad. Hope you're having a good time, pal. Hope it's sunny and shining wherever you are. And I can see them announcing a signing on Friday to change the dynamic from the dividends on the actual day they take him, says KMW. Look, I'll be very happy if we announce a signing tomorrow. I think we should be doing something over the next 24 hours, but we'll all know why it's happening. Let's be honest, we'll all know why it's happening. Wouldn't surprise me if it was bloody Eriksen. A free transfer as 11 million quid goes out the club. But you know what? When I think about United, just very quickly, I'm just going to go off-piste a little bit here. When I think about United and I think about statements like this about imminent signings and structure and all this bullshit, I don't just think about Jamie Carragher. I also think about, if I went to a restaurant and I took all of you out, right? We went to a restaurant, yeah? And all right, so it's on me. It's an imaginary restaurant. Drinks are on me as well, yeah? We all order our food and the next 2 or 3 days we're violently ill because we've been food poisoned by crap chefs and delivery, yeah? Would we go back to that restaurant and order the same food if it was the same chef and restaurant owner and they said, we've sorted it out this time. It's all fine. We've sorted it out this time. We've sorted out the structure. You know, we've got proper plans in place. We're not going to make the mistakes of the past. Would you be comfortable tucking into that lasagna? Because I wouldn't. And this is my problem with Manchester United. There is no accountability at that football club. If you actually drill down, the people who are telling us to be patient, be patient, it's a new United, give us time. When you actually look at it, and I hope they're going to prove us right. I really do. I want them to. I know they want to. John Murtaugh's been at that club for years. Richard Arnold's been Ed Woodward's right-hand man for years. The Glazers are the owners and have been there for years. What we're actually getting here, imagine if the Glazers had sold the club, we've got a new CEO, we've got a new director of football, we've got a new manager, and they were saying, we're not going to be like the past. We'd still be a little bit nervous, even though it's new owners, new CEO, new director of football. We'd still be a little bit nervous because we were going, oh God, please don't let it be like the past. But has anybody stopped and thought that actually this new United we're being told to be patient about, it's actually the same owners. The director of football's basically been moved into a position when he was already pretty much doing it anyway for the last few years. And Richard Arnold was Ed Woodward's right-hand man and who's now in the box seat. Like, we are basically being asked to be patient and give time to the same people who've been doing the same sort of jobs for the last few years. And when you think of it like that and then you read stuff like that, you go, hold on a minute. I get it. We saw your little interview in the pub last week. Well done. We've seen how it's a new United and the structure and this, that and the other. Well done. But you've had since February, actually. February the 1st. And you knew you were taking over on February the 1st. So why are we now getting, in the middle of June, talks about change? You've been in post for 5.5 months. And you knew you were going to be in post before Woodward left. Why is the change taking so long? Why won't you put deadlines on it? And why is it always statements of vagueness, really? And also, as I just said there, we are allowed as fans to call you out because you are the same people who've been doing the same jobs for the last few years. All you've done is rebadged yourself. You've moved yourself from there and given yourself a different title. You've still been massively involved. And my point is, why has nobody been sacked at United? Woodward resigned. Matt Judge is resigning. Nobody has ever been held accountable for the crap that has happened over the last 9 years. All we do is move people around and then let people walk out with a payoff. There is no proper leadership in that football club. And until we see it, I'm sorry, I know they don't like it, and they don't like it, but it's smoke and mirrors. You are the same people who've been doing it for the last 9 years, and until you show something different, you can't just say things are different. They're not. And maybe something is imminent. Maybe we are about to sign 3 players in a week. I'll believe that when I see it, and if it happens, I'll applaud it. Just like I applauded Ten Hag over Pochettino. But you can't just ask for a second chance when you're the same people that had loads of chances over the last 9 years. And that's what's being asked of us here. And the great thing is, as I say, many people are now looking at this and going, you know what, they should have done business by now. And I was listening to that Phil Brown thing as well, and he was saying what many of you have been saying and what we were talking about it as well. What nobody can understand is why United are so fixed on one signing. Why are they so fixed on one signing and not doing anything else? And to be honest with you, nobody, whether it's the journalists close to United or anybody else, nobody can justify what is happening at the football club this transfer window. All we're getting is the club are on track. They know what they're doing. And if they deliver it, that's fine. But I still think it's taken too long. Who should be a higher priority for Manchester United? Right winger or right back, says Vignac. A left-footed right winger, definitely. Are other clubs looking for loans on players because they know this club will be paying half all their wages, says Ronald. Murta is inept, botched Bellingham and Haaland negotiations as well. And what does laying the groundwork even mean? We're not pitching a tent, says Julian. And as a tourist, when you're a foreign market, it's best to go with a good local guide so that the sellers can't fool you. Rangnick would have been the guide and now the board will just get fleeced, says Ash. Interesting point there. I mean, look, you know what? Again, I can't remember where I heard this, but this is absolutely spot on as well. You know, when it comes to sales, and we know that Dean Henderson has gone on loan, which is a crap deal for United. It's really crap. I mean, we're going to spend money on this backman to be the reserve goalkeeper, but we're going to loan Dean Henderson. I mean, we're spending money for Henderson to go on loan to Forest, and then we're spending money to bring in a replacement goalkeeper. I mean, it defies logic how crap we are at some things. And you have to call it out because that is crap. Like, United and Murta, they can't come out and say, no, you've missed the point here. Everyone thinks we should have sold Dean Henderson to get 25 million to go towards the budget this summer. But you've completely missed how it's much better to keep him at the club, send him on loan to somebody, and then pay half his wages. You just don't get it, do you? No, because it's a crap deal, isn't it? No, you're not thinking of the pie. You're looking at little pieces of the pie, and it's the whole pie you've got to look at. And actually, you're wrong. It's a crap deal, and it's even worse to pay Dean Henderson to play at Forest and then buy a goalkeeper to come in and be the backup goalkeeper. It's not very good. It really isn't. But one thing I will say, and it's a great point, is that as much as we talk about selling players, it isn't actually totally United's job to sell players. It's the agent of the club. You think about it, it's very logical. We want to sign Anthony. We want to sign Timber. We want to sign De Jong. We're in conversations with their agent about persuading that player to come to our club. And then you're in negotiations with the club about a deal. That agent, we get linked to players all the time because players around Europe have got agents who use us. Eric Bailly's agent, Brandon Williams' agent, Phil Jones' agent, Wan-Bissaka's agent, Anthony Martial's agent. They've all got an agent. What are they doing? What are they doing? Because yes, United want to sell them, but what are they doing to drum up business? And by the looks of it, very little. Which is surprising because every time you move a player, that's when an agent makes their money. New contracts or transfers. So it's also on the agents of these players to find the moves as well. The problem is, what's the appetite of the player to actually leave? Pay cuts, they don't want to hear that word. Signing on fees are going to be small. Therefore, agent fees are going to be small. I just think we have a collection of players where even agents of those players who can make money out of them moving are like, so it's not really worth it, is it? No one really wants them. I won't make much money out of it. It's more trouble than it's worth. Hi Mark, how is it that we wangle and wriggle for every dime in transfers with clubs, but when it comes to wages, we'll pay 200 grand a week, says Angel and Soul. Great point. Don't really know. But look, just a little bit extra. This is coming from Fabrizio as well. On Wan-Bissaka, approaches have been for a potential loan, but United wanted to wait in case they receive a potential permanent deal. I mean, you know what? We paid £50 million for this lad not that long ago, and the best we can get on offer is a loan. And waiting for a permanent deal, I can't see it. I genuinely can't see it. I mean, what would be the fee for Aaron Wan-Bissaka? I think if we could get 20 million, that would be a decent deal for United. But they won't take 20 million. United will be asking for 35 or something stupid like that, in which case you're never going to get that. But it's just well done, Solskjaer and the scouting around that. Absolutely shite. I mean, this was the player that we scouted 250 right backs to get, wasn't it? I mean, just reflects terribly on the club, that does. And then Anthony Martial is waiting to speak with Ten Hag, but United are willing to discuss if they receive some proposals. And it's, you know, the reason I put those up basically is to just say this is the problem United have got. We're willing to sell Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams and Twan Sebi and Eric Bailly and Anthony Martial, but willing to sell is not the same as look, Liverpool, I think, are going to get £15 million for Mina. And they also got, was it £25 million for that Brewster who went to Sheffield United? I think they got 20 million for Ibe, who went to Bournemouth. They're brilliant. They're brilliant at doing this, Liverpool. And Manchester United are terrible at doing it. And there's a reason for it. Morning, Mark. Just wondering if you would buy Jesus for now, says Carl. Look, I think Jesus at United would be a good player, but I don't know why people talk about it, because there's realism and there's fantasy, and it's fantasy. He's a Man City player. He's not going to come to Man United. Hi, Mark. Did you see the video leak last night of Bruno shouting at Fred and Tellez shows which players are taking the season seriously? I think it was a joke. I think it was staged, Luke. Somebody told me. Crazy to think that we finished 6th in the league and have not signed anyone or sold anyone. Single player, absolute joke, says Thomas. Mate, Sky Sports saying Ronaldo in talks to leave due to lack of transfers, says Luke. Mate, I don't like to say this, but you have to judge people, and you have to judge people fairly. And I think Sky are crap. I do. I think they're crap this summer. I thought they were crap last summer. I think they're crap this year. They just seem to get worse. I don't know what Sky Sports News have done, but they seem to be getting worse. Like, we had somebody from Sky a couple of days ago was saying that United, what were they saying? We're not looking at a centre-back. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they're getting their info from, but it's not great. I think they're getting it from last summer. I don't know where they're getting it from. Slow Sports News. But no, I'm not. I don't take Sky very seriously at the moment, because they're just not very good. So I don't believe that. And in fact, that Ronaldo story could be what we were talking about yesterday, which is just frustration from Ronaldo. I know we want to stay positive, mate, but I honestly think our summer is done already. It's a wash, a shambles. Glad to have you vent through, says more Adam. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But to be fair, Talk Sport have been pretty good this summer. If you know, you know. They have been pretty good. And that's not just because I've been on it. They have been pretty good. So, you know, I think transfers change every summer anyway. To be fair to Sky, the summer of Dan James and Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, they were very, very good. But it changes, doesn't it? I mean, I remember the summer of Marcio. Romano didn't even exist then. I mean, some people would say Romano's not really at it anymore. It changes. It goes in cycles, doesn't it? And that's the way it should do. Mark, Anthony and Frenkie de Jong, who do you think will be the first signing, says Uza. Look, in relation to Anthony, there's conflicting stories about Anthony. There's some people are saying that we're not even talking to Ajax. Some people are saying that we are. I'm losing the will to live, really, on who we're going to sign first. It doesn't sound like de Jong's that close. It doesn't sound like Anthony's that close. The only deal I know that is close is the £11 million transfer to the Glazers tomorrow for dividends. That's the first signing of the summer. Glazers Pocket FC. I don't know who's going to be first. I mean, look, we're already. There's nothing we can say about it, really, is there? We've already gone past by quite a considerable period of time what I thought our first signing would be. If you'd said to me when the season ended back in May that by the 23rd of June we'll have bought no one and sold no one, I would have gone mad in May. It's only because we've lived it and it is the 23rd of June that we're not ranting and raving as much as we would be. But if we'd been told this in May, we'd have gone, what have we done for a month? Like, and that is the question. What have we been doing? I don't know. If de Jong is staying adamant he don't want to come and has to be dragged kicking and screaming to Old Crux, we shouldn't be doing it, says Ian. Well, you wouldn't be the only one to think that. Ray, thank you very much for that as well. But just for becoming a member, one thing I did just want to say as well is, so, because somebody said it in the chat, why can Liverpool sell bench players like Minamino and Origi and all these other players for over 10, 15, 20 million, and United can't sell people like Eric Bailly and Brandon Williams and stuff like that? It's because success breeds positivity. Liverpool have been in title races and won Champions Leagues over the last 3 years, and Mino has been on the bench or involved in that. So when people express an interest in him, Liverpool, he's got that shine, hasn't he? He's like a shiny toy because he's been part of the Klopp system that's successful. He's come on and done well. He's scored goals now and again. Blah, blah, blah. That's the story he's telling. You go, the bidding starts at 15 million and clubs go, you know what, he is a Liverpool player, whatever, like, you know, let's get him. When United try and sell someone like Eric Bailly or Brandon Williams, it's like they stink of shit. Not because they are shit, but because United are shit. And therefore, people go, well, you want us to pay money for them? It's the old salesman technique, isn't it? You know, a salesman could be going home for a pot noodle and a you know what. But as long as he's got a nice car and a nice suit and he's, you know, turning up, it's perception. That's what it's all about. Liverpool sell high for their fringe players because they're successful and they give off an aura of success, and people want to buy that success even if it's a bench player. Have you ever played Football Manager and you want to, you know, you're a League 2 side and you want to get people in on loan? Do you go to Millwall, who might have a really good midfielder in their reserves team, or do you go to the United youth side because you want to get some, or an Arsenal youth player? It's that perception, it's that glamour. So if you are a well-run club, people want your players, whether they're reserve players or not. If you're a bad-run club, you can't offload your crap. And this is what we're stuck in, this cycle of things getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, first team players, I said this the other day, who's going to buy our first team players? Hardly anybody. So what chance have we got? Thomas, thank you very much for joining the members club. A few super chats. For a long time now, the only pool we had was high wages. With that out of the picture, no one is willing to join, says the liquidity hunters. Mark, we're apparently interested in Liverpool's former sporting director. Might be rubbish. I mentioned that last night on the show, United edits, and I don't think many United fans want an ex-Liverpool director or sporting director, and I don't think he wants to come with us. I think he'll end up at Chelsea. What's our starting lineup on the first day? Currently it's scary, says Barry. And Neil, welcome to Members Club. I mean, this is why I'm not excited about the new league fixtures. And also Sam says, do we even have enough players for a 25-man squad? Half will be from the academy at this rate, says Sam. Welcome to Man United. Hodge has been a member for 38 months, legend. Just to go back what Sam said there, Sam, the scary thing is, you're completely wrong. We've got 25 senior players. I've done this before. De Gea, backup keeper Heaton. Williams, Delo, Wan-Bissaka, Tellez, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, Rafael Varane, Phil Jones, Fred, McTominay, Van der Beek, Garner, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, Pereira, Alanga. There's got to be 3 or 4 I've missed as well. So we're easily up to 22, and I've probably missed. There's people screaming at the screen saying you've missed some players as well. So we've got loads of players. We've got absolutely loads of players. They're just not good enough. Mark, of the last 50 players who have left United, I wonder how many were free, loan and sale, and how much we got. Would be shocking, I think, says Sean from Ireland. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's another start to a day where we're like, what will today bring, and will United do any business and all that, and you know, as I said, there's a story about imminent deals and structure, and I just think we're past all that now. I think United, I don't know many Man United fans who are saying let's be patient now. You know, it's only the second week of the transfer window. I think they've lost all that. So they can keep putting that crap out. They can keep talking about structure. They can keep talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and all the plans they've got. But I just think, as I say, we've almost got to open our eyes up as a fan base and go, hold on a minute. We've been quite patient. We've given them time. You know, it is a new CEO. It is a new director of football. But actually, it's not. The new CEO was the old CEO's right-hand man. The new director of football has actually been involved in recruitment for years. They're not new, and the Glazers are still here. So it's not a new Manchester United. There's no evidence of that at the moment. And until you deliver the new, you're not getting any more patience. And I think that's generally across the fan base at the moment. They're like, we've given you patience. You've not delivered anything. So you know what? Deliver, otherwise you're in the same boat as the previous lot, and they have to start delivering. And as I said at the start of the week, dividend day tomorrow, if the club does nothing before tomorrow, this is not a new club. This is the same club going up yours to the fans. Our first signing of the summer is dividends to the Glazers. I mean, what message is that? I don't care whether you're CEO, director of football, head of communications, the Glazers themselves. What football club professes to be a new football club with a new start, a new structure, and we're going to make signings, what football club in their right mind, which is massive about social media interactions, what football club in their right mind allows their first signing to be dividends to their owners? And we're 24 hours away from that. So let's see what happens, because I find that absolutely ridiculous. I just want to take the boy back to Old Trafford and see a smile on his face. Just to watch them work will be good enough. Forget the results, says Luke. Would almost rather United follow what Arsenal did last summer and sign a bunch of no-names than go down the marquee signing, says Ash. Hi Mark, sorry for asking again, but do you still expect positive news today? Feel very depressed with lack of transfers, says Saeed. If Neymar is available on a loan as reported, some sources, should United sign him? No. Regan, I said don't get Neymar a couple of years ago. That'd be the worst thing in the world to go and get Neymar now. I mean, that would be ridiculous. To bring Neymar into this situation, no, absolutely not. Do I expect positive news? Yes. I just don't know what level of positivity is positive for you. Eriksen signing on a free is positive news. Is that enough to deflect from the fact that we've done nothing and the dividends are coming out? Do I think we could announce De Jong in 24 hours? Unlikely, but as unlikely as any other deal. So it's over to United, isn't it? Let's see what they do. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe. But the most important thing I'm going to say to you, it's only 7 minutes long, and it's the best 7 minutes action you're going to get today. It's pinned at the top of the chat, or it's on the homepage. Why De Jong is not a CDM and why Ten Hag is obsessed with him. It will take your mind off transfers and put your mind on football, and it will be very interesting. It's a new style sort of video as well. I want your feedback on that. But more importantly, just click it and watch it, and get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. One, on the style of video, but two, just to give you a bit of positivity.